Well, hello, this is Pastor Mark again, Westminster Presbyterian Church, and I wanted to close out our study on the parable of the loving father by focusing one more time on the older son. To focus on those like the older son, who think they deserve more from God, who think that God is holding out on them, who do not rejoice when God is gracious to other people, who do not rejoice in the salvation of great sinners. The parable ends almost with an open question. Let me read these words. And the father said, "Son, you are always with me, and all that is mine is yours. It is fitting that we celebrate and be glad, for this your brother was dead and is alive, was lost and is now found." It's really an open invitation for the older brother to enter into the party. I think the problem with many in the church today is they don't understand the marvelous nature of the grace of God, the full extent of the love of the Father. So do we understand this grace? This grace that will receive a wicked, wasteful son, and this grace that will receive a legalistic son? And both are received on the same terms, free and unmerited grace. If you have nothing but needs, then God will have nothing but grace. Remember what Jesus said in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 9. On hearing this, Jesus said, "It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. But go and learn what this means. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners." Now, the righteous, they still need repentance, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. And when Christ speaks of the whole, or when he speaks of the righteous, he means those that think themselves righteous. He means the self-righteous, in other words. And when he speaks of sinners, it is those who think of themselves as sinners. "Father, my son," the father said, "you are always with me, and everything that I have is yours. But will you throw it all away, never understanding the treasures of free grace that is proclaimed to you, my son?" That's what the father is saying. Grace is free to all. It's free to prodigals, it's free to great sinners, and it is even free to the legalistic, hard-hearted older son. It'll only cost us our self-righteousness. We need to think accurately of ourselves. We all must come to receive the free and the sovereign grace of God with open and empty hands. So the great lesson of this parable is actually summarized well for us in the words of Ralph Erskine. "Let not the greatest civilian presume, and let not the greatest prodigal despair. God's love is first on the field." So this parable really does end with a question. It is fitting that we should celebrate because this younger son has received grace and has received home. And it's almost asking the older son, will you come in and join the party? Will you celebrate? Will you enjoy this grace as well? So the door stands open to everyone. The great sinner and the legalistic, hard-hearted older brother. The Father will receive you by repentance and faith. He will receive everyone by repentance and faith. So we have reason to rejoice today and to worship today, don't we? Because grace has triumphed over both of our sin and our self-righteousness.